So I don't care if you've been in XRP for years or you're brand new to this whole thing. This video contains the only thing that you need to know. Now I know everyone's been hyping up this whole conversation about XRP being in the US Treasury alongside Bitcoin. And everyone's hyping it up as if it guarantees this massive price appreciation for XRP. But let me tell you something, I think people will get wrecked thinking that way. Because I think you're carefully being distracted away from what really matters. So if you really want to win with XRP, watch this video carefully because you could be about to save years of your life. Right now, the biggest topic in the world for XRP is this US Treasury Reserve theory. And it's just adding to those narratives that we see all the time of XRPs going to $1,000, $10,000, $50,000, whatever it is. This time around, it's that US Treasury Reserve theory. And I am absolutely not saying XRP will not get to those levels. It absolutely could, and I, in many ways, believe it will. But here's the actual problem. If you rest all of your hopes and dreams on that idea, I think it's a dangerous thing. Because the truth is, and I truly believe this, you don't need XRP to hit those massive price points to have financial freedom. And I think most people don't realize that until it's too late. So let's talk about the 3 lessons I think you need to learn before that whole mentality wrecks you. By the way, did you know only 20% of people that actually watch these videos are in fact subscribed? So if you watch these videos and you're not subscribed, please do that right now. It helps the channel a lot. And if you want to go deeper on these types of conversations, I really urge you to register for my newsletter. It comes out once a week and it will dive into topics just like today's video, but also give you some more personal updates as well. Links to both of them are in the description. So let's get into lesson number 1. Wealth isn't a number. Wealth is control over your life. And I'm beginning to feel like chasing numbers is actually the best way to stay broke. And I hear XRP investors all the time say, you know, I'm waiting till $10,000 and then I will be rich. But something I really want to do here is ask you, do you know actually how much money you need to have this financially free life, to actually consider yourself rich? Do you actually know that number? Typically, the answer when I ask that question to people, and I do it all the time, is silence. And it's because they have no idea. They haven't dedicated the thought to think about it. And as you continue to not think about it, you're just going to continue to hold and hold and hold and hold until you either lose everything or you miss big opportunities along the way because you're blinding yourself. So we're not here to look for a big portfolio number. We're here to gain control over our life and therefore control over your time and your choices and your lifestyle. And guess what? This shouldn't be a surprise. It won't take $10,000 per XRP for you to reach that moment. I think you just really need strategy instead of hope. Lesson number 2 is a really interesting one. When you get rich, you'll realize that people liked you more when you were broke. And of course, nobody wants to hear that one. But I want to be honest here, I don't think money's going to fix anything. You kind of think, when I get all this money, everything's just going to work out. Well, I want to look at some data here, right? 70% of lottery winners lose most of their friendships within the first few years. You already knew about lottery winners and losing wealth, but losing friendships too. Number 2, wealthier people report higher levels of distrust in relationships. Why are these people? Why am I surrounded by these people? They weren't here when I was broke. Why are they here now? You have this inherent distrust with your whole life. Not a fun way to live. And then there's a guy called Jack Whitaker who won $315 million and said it ruined his life. Like how, and even I'm remembering a story from Jim Carrey, and he was like, money's not everything. And the person replied to him and said, well, I'd like to try it first. And he goes, but why? I'm telling you, I've had the fame, I've had the money, I did it all, and I'm telling you it's not worth it. Who else would you listen to apart from someone who's done it? And the thing is, like, I think everyone thinks they're different, and I get it. Like, we all want to be different in many ways, but you need to ask yourself very, very closely, are you actually prepared for what's about to come for you? Are you prepared for when your financial status completely changes? Because when money enters the equation, so do other people's expectations. People start to assume that you owe them something. Friendships will shift from being real to transactional. And when you actually say no to people, they don't like it. And I heard a quote the other day. It said, money doesn't fix relationships, it tests them. So if you don't have good relationships beforehand, the money's only going to make it worse. So in many ways, I think if you're trying to get wealth to make life easier, I think we're in for a surprise. And lesson number 3 is if money is your only goal, then you'll actually never have enough. Now, I've learned this lesson the hard way. For the last kind of 2 or 3 years, I have pushed myself, pushed and pushed to grow my business, make more money, and this pursuit of money, essentially. I pushed harder and I worked more and I worked more. I woke up earlier, I went to bed later, until one day I actually physically collapsed. And I collapsed from the stress I was putting myself under to achieve this thing that was actually never possible to achieve: enough money. Because I felt like no matter how much money I made or how much growth the channel had or how much growth the business had, it was never actually enough. And really, going from my car, making videos in my car in my lunch break, to that situation where the business is doing wonderfully, the channel's growing, and all of this success that I had, that change from basically $0 to all the way to where I reached was a massive life-changing event. I left my job, I have my own business, I started to hire people, and I've got 6-7 people that help me work on this channel right now. But anything after that, the law of diminishing returns kicks in. Now I have to overcome massive hurdles and make bigger leaps to have anywhere near the same amount of impact. Going from $0 saved to $10,000 saved was really good. Like, it was great for me. Going from 10 to 100 was like, wow, my life has changed. Then you go from 100,000 to 200,000. You go, okay, well, that's nice, but it's not as much of a difference as the other ones. Then you go and then we just extrapolate this out, right? You go from $1 million to $2 million. Okay, it's changed a little bit, but my whole life hasn't changed. You go from $10 million to $100 million. Okay, massive amounts of wealth gained, but not really changed much. The biggest difference came when you went from $0 to $200,000, right? There's a rule there that we need to extract to learn about what actually matters. And I just don't think money is the thing. If it's your primary goal, it's not going to get you where you want to get to. Because if you don't define what the word enough means to you, you'll never find it. So I think here's the reality. Most people are waiting for kind of like a $1,000 XRP before they do anything with their XRP. $10,000, $50,000. Maybe doesn't even matter what the price is. I just want more. And they wait for that moment to make life easier. And that moment will not come. Because if you don't have a plan now, you won't have a plan when the money comes in. When XRP does reach $1,000, $10,000, you still won't have a plan. So we need to understand how to manage the money now. We need to know how to build strategy and formulate this coherent, logical thought process about our money so that when it goes up, we can manage it effectively. So stop waiting for these massive price predictions. Actually go into the details, figure out exactly what it is that you need to make your life 90% better from where it is today, understanding that the remaining 10% extra to that is really diminishing returns. We want to make the massive amount of impact with the easiest amount of growth, right? So if you can achieve 2x your portfolio, and that 2x of your portfolio helps you reach 90% of your financial goals forever, like it allows you to do 90% of everything that you've wanted to do, maybe question why we need that extra 10%. If the extra 10% comes, great, but we need to know that number. What is that 90%? I've got some homework for you all. I want you to actually go away and think about the number. What is that number for you that would allow you to be free in your mind? Not mega rich, not a trillionaire, free in your mind. Drop that number in the comments. I'm going to read every single comment on this one. And if you want deeper insights like this on a weekly basis and also some personal updates and behind the scenes stuff, then register for the newsletter down in the description. Thank you for watching. Stay emotionless, and I'll see you in the next one.